that has ever talked to me knows it is very rare that I let other people in my class talk. So if I let someone in, it must be something that's special. So,
I feel very special.
Yeah. So far we've had a nonprofit for a very worthy cause to develop a website for a project and Aaron. So,
wonderful.
All right, let's go.
Thanks, Mike. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking this precious class time to talk with me about work-based learning and internships and co-ops. Have any of you here in the room done an internship before? Internships? Okay. All right. And let me get kind of I just like to get a general feel for who's in the room, who I'm talking with. Now, how many of you are in your second semester? Okay. All right. So second semester or more? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Should have asked the question that way. Okay, great. Well, this is good because, again, like I said, I like to get a feel for who's in the room and who I'm talking to, because work-based learning is a very specific program which allows students to earn academic credit for an internship or co-op. So students have particular classes that they can take through the work-based learning program to earn credit. So if you are pursuing one of our associate's degrees, our applied degrees, you may be able to count that credit towards your degree requirements. So that's one of the really big benefits of work-based learning, of taking a work-based learning course, is because it could actually count towards your degree requirements. But that aside, we know from employers that gaining that experience prior to graduation, regardless of where you're headed next, is so critical. It is one of the #1 things that employers look at when they're hiring new employees. So when they're hiring entry-level employees, they are going to look at your resume and they're going to see, do you have some sort of experience related to your field? It doesn't have to be an internship. It could be developing a website for a nonprofit and doing those kinds of activities, but those need to be relevant to your coursework and relevant to your degree. So that's, again, the #1 thing that employers are looking for. So that's why what I do in career services through the work-based learning program is helping students find those experiences. So I meet individually one-on-one with students to talk about what kinds of things they're looking for. Is it networking? Is it web development, software, programming? What area of IT are you looking in? What kind of opportunities are you seeking? So that I can really help you develop a plan on where you need to go to get that experience. Now, we have employers who are seeking students. They're looking for students to intern with them, to take on an experience for them. So it's important that you know what you're looking for in IT. So it's important to start clarifying your goals and your objectives and where you're headed. So I also work with students on that piece as well, with clarifying what it is you're looking for. The field of IT is very broad. There's a lot of opportunities in it, and sometimes it's really hard to narrow that down to know exactly where you want to head. Well, I don't think you need to know exactly where you want to head, but I think it's important to at least have a pretty good idea of some of the occupations and the job titles that you're looking for. So we have a variety of ways that we do that. One of the ways is, again, by meeting with me individually. If you're really not sure, you can take a career assessment. We have an assessment, a variety of assessments called My Plan, which you can take to assess your interests, your skills, your values, all of those things, and then we can look at them in terms of IT careers and which way you might want to focus, because that's going to help us. You need to know where you're headed so that you know which internships you want to target, so you're really getting some good feedback and responses from employers on the kinds of internships that you're qualified for. The other thing that we have an opportunity going on right now that I really want to tell you guys about today, we are going to be, during the week of the 16th, April 16th, we have a lot going on that week, and I'm going to pass around these flyers hot off the presses. We just developed this. We are offering an opportunity to students in IT who are going to be seeking an internship next fall or spring, next year, or an entry-level position or a position in your field, an opportunity to take an assessment called the OPQ. And this assessment, what you do is it assesses your personality, your skills, your strengths, those sorts of things. And then you have the opportunity to look at jobs in IT. So we have profiles of a variety of jobs in IT. There are 5, and you can choose 3 of those jobs. And then you can take a look at your results of the OPQ assessment and then the profile of those jobs. Now this OPQ assessment, it's not cheap. It's a $125 assessment. But we're offering it to about 12 students for free. Okay? So this is a great opportunity to look at what skills you feel that you have or what skills do you need to develop. So what we'll be doing with students is after you take the OPQ assessment and you see, well, web development, I think I have a little bit of work, to do on some of these skills. And we're talking a lot about the soft skills, not the technical skills. You're getting that from your classes. You're learning all of that from your faculty. But those soft skills, the people skills or the organization skills, really the things that are required for that career. And we'll develop a plan. So in conjunction with your coursework, we can help you think about what do you need to do and think about as you're going for these careers. So I'm going to leave this flyer, okay, and I can make sure that you've got it electronically too, so that if you're interested, we really want you to call the office and let us know. The other thing tied to this assessment is we will be taking those students that participate in that assessment to an event hosted that Thursday by NEOSA, the Northeast Ohio, what are they called? The Northeast Ohio Software Association. Thanks, Mike. They're doing an event in Westlake called Linking Talent to IT. And it's an opportunity for students in IT to connect with IT companies or companies who have IT opportunities. So right now I think there's over 20 employers that are planning on being there. And so we're going to take by bus, we're going to take a bus together, and we're going to go to that event. You take the OPQ assessment, we're going to go to the event, we're going to have lunch, and then you'll have an opportunity to come back and do a debrief on the assessment. So it'll be an entire day devoted to thinking about your experience and your skills and your, the companies that you want to connect with in IT, okay? So that's going on Thursday. That whole week is called Tech Week. And so there's a lot of activities that are going on that week for IT students, which I really hope you'll get involved in. That's one. You probably, if you haven't seen, I know there's one right outside your door of your class, the poster for the career fair. So we have our 2012 career fair coming up that Tuesday, okay? So lots going on that week. And I have been talking with students who are interested in work-based learning and internships in IT and encouraging them to attend the career fair for that networking opportunity, having your resume available to be talking with some of those employers. Highland Software, Sherwin-Williams, lots of other, we are booked. We are full for the career fair. We have over 90 employers coming. And so even if you're not looking for a permanent job right now, it's a really good opportunity to engage and to get to know those employers and be able to talk about yourself and what you're looking for in the IT industry and your opportunities there, because you never know what's going to come of that. In between the career fair, we'll also be doing a streaming web video, hosted again by NEOSA and some folks in Cleveland with some people from IBM. So they're going to be doing a live streaming video, and students will have the opportunity to take advantage of that in the middle of the career fair also. So be on the lookout for that. So lots of opportunities in the next couple of weeks to engage with IT employers. So what is really important is that you've got that resume, because you can't get an internship without a resume. That resume really needs to be focused on your skills and what you have to offer to an employer. Now, many of you are probably saying to yourself, but I don't have relevant work experience. I don't have a job yet in IT. How do I market myself to employers if I don't have experience? Well, it's a lot of transferable skills. So I was just talking with a student this morning how working in retail can really, you can show an employer you have people skills, you have organizational abilities, that customer service, were you employee of the month? Did you show up on time? Did you manage a part-time job with full-time work or vice versa? We all have responsibilities and families and things that we do that are ways that you can show an employer that not only with your degree and the classes that you're taking, so that relevant coursework, a really good sense of who you are and what you have to offer, okay? So I think that those are a lot of things that you should think about when you're looking towards doing an internship through work-based learning. So like I said, that credit is a really good way to get that on your transcript and to show an employer that you took an internship very seriously because you were also enrolled in a class through work-based learning for that internship or co-op. So you have a faculty advisor who's helping you put your learning objectives together. You've got things that you need to be working on throughout the semester as part of that class, and then you get a grade. It goes on your transcript. So that employer knows that you're taking this seriously. And because it's transcriptable, even if it doesn't count towards where you're going next, so it might not transfer to a four-year school, when you submit a transcript to an employer, which many employers ask you to submit transcripts, they're going to see that you did a work-based learning experience, and they're really going to look upon that very favorably. So that credit is a great way to do that. The other benefit of doing it for credit is that I will be helping you look for paid internships only. Through work-based learning, for a student to earn academic credit for an internship, it has to be paid. Okay? So that's a good thing. So I'm focused on helping students find paid opportunities. Now, are there really good unpaid opportunities out there? Absolutely. So sometimes, it could be something else, a volunteer experience where, again, you're helping a nonprofit that maybe can't pay, put together a website. That's good to add to your portfolio, to have that experience. But for a student to do it for credit, I'm going to be focused on helping you find paid internships. So how do we do that? Well, I did just kind of print this out for you all. I'm going to pass it around. It's not very pretty, but it's just a quick listing of all of the internships listed in CareerLink, which is our online job listing system, and neointern.net, okay? So now you'll notice there are more internships posted in neointern.net than there are in CareerLink, okay? So I'm just going to hand that around. You can just flip through it and just kind of pass it around. So the reason that there are more, and it's front and back, I was trying not to kill too many trees here. So it's the reason that you'll see more in NeoIntern than you will in CareerLink is because CareerLink is our internal job posting system. So we have this piece of software, and when an employer tells us they have an internship available, we list it in CareerLink. So it's really, those internships are only advertised to LCCC and university partnership students, okay? So you can only apply for them if you are a student who's going through my office through work-based learning. So there's not a lot right now, but there are some really good opportunities in networking, in web development, in software, and in programming. Of the 7 internships, that really kind of gives you a quick overview of the opportunities available in there. And then NeoIntern, the reason that that one is bigger, and I'm going to leave you a handout on neointern.net, is that's a regional database. So that's a regional database of internships in the Northeast Ohio area. So, for example, a lot of the employers that are coming to that linking talent to IT on that Thursday of Tech Week are listed in NeoIntern with their internship opportunities. So if they have internships available, they're usually listed in NeoIntern because it's a regional database focused on IT and all kinds of internships, everything in Northeast Ohio. So again, I just wanted to print out a quick overview for you, and I hope that you'll register in CareerLink and neointern.net if you're not already. CareerLink, you just go to the LCCC homepage, click on Career Services, and then you'll see Career Link. And then it's really easy. You can take this flyer to register into neointern.net, or from Career Link, you can click on it and it'll take you to NeoIntern as well. So lots of opportunities to engage with IT companies and employers that are hiring in the IT area. It takes some digging. There's a video. If you go to, there's a website, OhioWrite.com. It's a project of the Write Board, the Regional IT and Technology Engagement Board, OhioWrite.com. And they have a list, some videos, some really nice videos about the IT industry on their website. And what you'll see is there's all of these employers in our area that are looking for IT students but aren't IT companies, right? So like Quicken Loans Arena, Progressive Field, they have opportunities in IT, but they're not IT companies. So it's really about focusing on what you're looking for. Sherwin-Williams has wonderful opportunities for students, and many, many of those opportunities, if you do well in that internship or co-op, and Sherwin-Williams calls it a professional apprenticeship, they encourage you to apply for entry-level positions and really move into a permanent job once you graduate. So Sherwin-Williams asks you to dedicate at least a year to that professional apprenticeship, internship position. You rotate throughout the variety of IT functions within the company, and then they hire almost strictly into entry-level positions from that professional apprenticeship program. So this is where it's really important that you're thinking about these opportunities. And if you find one on your own, you may also want to come and see me and see how you could turn it into credit. I know a lot of students find internships on their own, which is great. I'm only one person. We've got a job developer who works really hard to develop these opportunities, but I know you all are networking and talking with people. If you do find an internship or an opportunity and you think you might want to do it for credit, or talk to me about how you can really craft it as that course, I'd encourage you to come and talk with me as well, okay? So let me stop here, because I know I've thrown a lot of information at you. Questions that you have at this point? Oh, you've got to have some questions after that.
How do you match up the supply of interns with the demand for internship positions?
Mm-hmm.
How would you match that up? Are there more positions than there are interns? Are there more interns than there are positions?
I think that there are probably... It depends on the time of year, Mike. We see that, a lot of employers post internships early. For example, for summer, a lot of our big employers are posting those internships and looking for students in the fall. And it's really hard for me to get the word out to students to let them know you need to be looking early. So many times we have more internships than we have more students. But then it flips. And so then when students start going, oh my gosh, I want an internship for summer, they come and see me, but a lot of those employers have already hired for summer. And so then we flip it and we get more students than we have internships. But it usually works out that you're going to have a pretty equal number. I don't see a ton, there's definitely competition, but there's so many opportunities out there. Again, it just takes a little bit of time, which is why you have to really start early so that you can find that opportunity. But I think that the supply and demand is pretty good.
Do you want to give an overview of general career services?
Sure.
Your specific area?
Yeah, absolutely. So career services, for those of you who have not ever been there, we're located over on the first floor of the library, Community Resource Center. So you've got career services, financial services, and enrollment. So we're all right there on that first floor. You can't miss us. We offer a ton of resources to students focused on professional development, really helping you to get that next job, that internship, that next step, wherever you're headed. So we work with community members as well. So all of our services, except for the internship, the work-based learning program, are also open to the community. So if you have any family or friends who you think would benefit from career services, just send them to our office, send them to our website. So again, like I said, you can just go to the home page, click on career services, and you're going to see a ton of information. couple of the big things that we do to really help people get prepared for that next step. Workshops. We do a lot of workshops on resumes and cover letters. So helping people develop a resume or cover letter. For students who don't have a resume, this is a great place to start, is in one of our workshops. For adults in transition, again, the resume workshop is a really great place to go to help you figure out how you need to change your resume from one field to another. So resumes and cover letters. We have an interviewing workshop. We go over some of the basic interview questions, preparing for an interview, follow-up, networking, so how to get some networking meetings and think about how to network. And then job search. We have a job search workshop as well. We also have a social media workshop where we talk about LinkedIn and how to really put together a nice profile on LinkedIn and then use it for your job search. So we focus specifically on LinkedIn, and then we also touch on Facebook and Twitter and those kinds of things as well. So social media and your job search is another thing that we have workshop-wise. You can also come in for an individual resume critique. So you can sit down one-on-one with one of our specialists in the office to really focus on your resume and what you need to do. But you do want to bring in a pretty good draft before you come in for a resume critique. It doesn't have to be up to date, but we do want something, okay? So you want to come into that resume critique with an actual resume that we can take a look at and give you some feedback on. We also do mock interviews. Right now we're in our VIP season for the career fair. So we have people who have signed on to be a VIP at our career fair coming up that week of April. And they have to do a mock interview. So they come in, we have people who come in. We do mock interviews led by us, our staff, as well as employers. So it's another good way to engage with employers and run you through a basic interview. We do general interview questions and we do behavioral-based interview questions. And a lot of employers these days are using that behavioral-based interviewing method. So they're really looking at past behavior predicting future success. So what have you done in the past, and how can you demonstrate that that's how you would be a good worker and a good employee and have the skills that they're looking for? They can train you, but if you don't have the basic skills that they're looking for to do that job, you're not going to be the best candidate. So how you answer those behavioral-based questions is really important. So whenever you hear a question like, tell me about a time when, or give me an example of, that's a behavioral-based question, and you need to have a specific story and a specific example to give that, to answer that question. So we'll coach you on those kinds of things too. Career exploration, again, if you're not sure what you want to do, you know IT, you think you've got some interest in this area, we can do my plan with you and then sit down one-on-one and really talk about where are you headed, what are your goals, and how are you going to get there. So workshops, the one-on-one, our career exploration, I've talked about work-based learning. We have a transitions job club where we have professionals who come in and talk about their job search, and it meets the first and third Monday of every month. And it's a really good opportunity to network with other people who are looking for jobs and seeking opportunities, and it's a really great session. So lots of resources on our website for job search. I've already talked about CareerLink. You can use that for regular jobs, not just internships and co-op. So lots of services for you over in career services. So I hope you'll come by and see us. Other questions? Yeah.
Is it too late to become a VIP member?
It is. Sorry. I wish it wasn't. But yeah, we had to do a deadline so we could make sure they could get everything done before the career fair. So yeah. Yeah.
Right, I went into the career level, or not career level, but the
Career services?
thing, and they told me when I went to ask about the volunteer resume workshop that they told me I had to have a resume. I don't know if I was just misunderstanding that.
To come to the workshop?
Yeah, to like build a resume.
Not to go to the workshop, but to do an individual resume critique, you do want to have a resume already. But for the workshop, they recommend that if you have a resume, that you bring it with you, just so when we're doing the workshop, you have something to think about and critique, but you don't have to have a resume to go to the resume workshop. We recommend it, but you don't have to. So, yeah. So definitely it's a good place to start. On our website, too, we have our resume tip sheet, which for students has a lot of good resumes on there. We have an IT resume, we have an accounting resume, a business-focused resume. So that might also be a good place to start, especially for students, and then do an individual resume critique, especially if you're focusing on internships with me.
That doesn't mean copy and paste it in Word.
No. No. Don't copy and paste it into Word. Use it as an outline. Yeah. You'll also hear me say I don't like templates either.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
Why? It doesn't transfer well.
Well, the problem with templates, it's a good starting point if you've never done a resume before because it is all there for you. But then as you get more savvy with putting things into your resume and you work with somebody in my office, somebody like me or a resume professional, it's so hard to make changes, to go back and to like delete and add and change, and because what'll happen is I'll give really good feedback. Somebody will be like, oh wow, I like those changes you're making, and we might change the font around a little bit and flip some things around. But if you've got like everything in tables and formatting and all this level and detail, it is so hard to make those changes to it, and sometimes it's just easier to start over and format it yourself.
See, even in Word, avoid using tables for layout.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Avoid it. Other questions?
Actually, I think like most employers are having you submit your resume online. So it's better just to put it in a text file.
I recommend that you have a text file as well. So you have one that's a very basic text file that if you need to copy and paste it into an online form, that you're able to do that. Yeah. But don't want to lose that formality of going through the process of doing a nice professional resume for networking opportunities, internships. They're still looking for that really nice, well put together, polished resume. Yeah. So far, that's not a lost art. Someday it might be. Other questions? All right. Well, yeah, thanks, Mike.
I'll make some concluding comments.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Hand you over the mic.
A few things to consider too. I think it's good to have, or rather, it's good to customize your resume based on who you're sending it to. That would be my one opinion. Back in the old days, you came up with a resume, you typed it on a sheet of paper using a typewriter. You took it to a printer and asked for 50 copies of it. So you couldn't customize it, right? But because you're not going to type one with these newfangled word processors, you can go in and you can be very custom, and you can tailor your resume to the specific job that you're looking for. Couple other things that I would say. An internship will not necessarily be doing a glamorous, cutting-edge sort of thing. A typical internship opportunity is like a help desk opportunity. Many of them turn out to be that. The point is, though, is that's a great job to learn the ins and outs of IT, all right? Because you are addressing a lot of different issues, a lot of different areas, and it's a good way to do it. So that sort of experience is better than if you're working, say, in a job that's not related to your field. So you might say, gee, I'm not doing the web development. And again, as was stated, a lot of times those jobs grow. Sometimes, a help desk person they'll bring on to maybe do a little bit of web development if they need it, in their spare time or whatever, and they can give additional projects too. So that's something to consider. Really what you want to do is you want to be able to differentiate yourself from other candidates for a job. And an internship is a great way to do it because it says a lot of things, I consider this, again, part of your education. That's why we're talking about this. It's not necessarily a theoretical thing or a technical thing, but it's part of your education. The other thing I would want to say is in conjunction with the NEOSA Tech Week, that Wednesday at 6 p.m., we are doing a discussion of the new mobile software development program that we're developing. I think some of us are going to be even at the thing on in the Tuesday afternoon. I think me and Paul have to coordinate that. There was a bunch of other things I was thinking of, but I can't remember. As I remember, I'll shout them out. Again, it's a good way to get your foot in the door. That's really what you want to do. Some internships turn out to be full-time, but even if they don't, you then have experience. Employers want to know you can do the job. How do you know that they can do the job? Because you've already done it somewhere else. All right, and again, that's the whole idea. That's even why I stress the service learning opportunity. Right, same idea. You show that you can do it that way. So, any other questions, comments? All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right. Oh, hi, this is